I don't know where we are. In the blooming middle of nowhere. No pubs, no clubs, no all-night cafes, but a cab. All right, I want to go to Brick Lane ultimately.
Brick Lane, no problem, sir.
But do you mind talking to us?
By all means.
You're on the night shift.
Okay.
Do you often do the night shift?
I work nights. I've worked nights for the last 8 years now.
Right, and have you done the knowledge? We've all seen that show on television.
I have done the knowledge. It took me 3 years to do. It's very tough, and you have to persevere, but it's been worth it, you know.
Do I ask you what your name is? What's your name?
Yeah, my name's Stuart.
Stuart, right. Yeah, and so they all say, I've had them all in my cab. I've had them all in my cab. You'll never believe who I had in my cab last week. Who did you have in your cab last week?
Well, last week it was Lloyd Grossman I picked up last week, and Barry Took. But I can remember the first time, like a real celebrity, I picked up George Best, and it was such a thrill.
George Best.
And when normally of an evening I meet up with all my other cab mates, all discuss who had in the cab. I couldn't wait to tell him I had George Best, and I discovered that every cab driver in London's picked him up, you know. So,
because he's not allowed to drive a lot, is he?
No.
Who would you say was the most famous person you've had in your cab? Have you ever had any really global stars like Madonna or Prince? Or
if only. I almost had Madonna. Once I picked up this blonde lady. She was going to a top London restaurant, and I was driving there, and as I pulled up, all the paparazzi are outside, and they swarmed around the cab. The lenses were at the window, and it was quite frightening. And the girl at the back said, you know, what do they want from me? I'm just a girl from Huddersfield. That's what she said. And next thing, a stretched limo pulled up in front, and out steps Madonna. So I presume the press thought that I had a decoy or something, when it was just a pure coincidence, you know.
Yeah.
And as soon as they saw Madonna, they just went rushing to her.
You didn't think for a moment they were after you?
No. One night I picked up this political journalist from Channel 4, and I was talking to him, and he, for some reason, had it in his mind that all like cabbies, you know, vote Tory, and you know, when I told him that it was the opposite, I always vote Labour, he was very surprised, you know, because he was sort of like spoiling for a good political argument, you know.
Yeah. Well, all right, then tell us this. What do you think about the fact of what the Labour Party have done with the Bank of England recently? How do you think about that? Because after all, the Conservatives did actually control the economy, you know, and everyone complained about it, but actually they didn't let the Bank of England control those things. And can we really trust all those guys in the city? How come Labour are trusting all those guys in the city? What do you think about that?
Well, all the other European countries leave it to the banks to do, you know, to look after the interest rates. And, you know, when you pick up these city gents, they're quite for what Labour have done with that, you know. It seems, you know, a logical thing to do.
Right. Okay.
Basically, no.
Now, I was just going to say, what other things do you think you're really opinionated on? Let's pick something really
Football.
touchy. Football. Oh, football. Oh dear. Crystal Palace, eh?
I'm afraid not Chelsea. But I think you'd find in a poll of cabbies in London that, you know, it'd be about 90% Arsenal.
Right. Thanks, Stu. Stu's brought us here to one of these wonderful tea rooms that you've probably seen all around London, but you wonder what they are. They're not garden sheds. They're actually where the cabbies have a cup of tea. And I've been invited in to have a cup of tea too. But I'm afraid you're members of the general public and you can't. So take care. After you, Stu. We're on the night shift. See you next time. Cheerio. Sorry.